When we spend our lives waiting until we are perfect and bulletproof before we walk into the arena, we ultimately sacrifice our relationship and opportunities that may not be recoverable. We waste our precious time and turn our backs on our unique contributions that only we can make. In the book Daring Greatly, Dr. Brené Brown takes a hard look at what vulnerability is, why we are so afraid of it, and how we are hardwired with joy and happiness that we can't experience it without connecting with other people. I have summarized the core message from every single chapter. So without further delay, let's dive in. So what is daring greatly? In simple words, when we dare to show up and let ourselves be seen, whatever it may be, in a new relationship, an important meeting, job interview, or difficult family conversation, when we show up with courage rather than overthinking, that is daring greatly. I remember when I was 21, I decided to drop out of college, not knowing what to do next in my life at that time. But I knew one thing: if I stay in college for 3 more years and still be clueless about what I want to do. I stayed home applying for jobs, being in a comfort zone, playing video games for hours and hours. Luckily, one day, I got a call for an interview from a direct marketing company. At that time, I had no knowledge of any marketing job. I had only 2 options: continue playing video games or go for an interview. I realized later on taking that job was the best decision of my life, because in matter of 1.5 years, I learned more than I expected. I met thousands of people door to door. It helped me develop people skills. I traveled to cities I'd never been to. I sat in a plane for the first time. Plus I made good amount of money. This only happened because I decided to come out of my comfort zone and face uncertainty. To this day, I ask myself what my life would have looked like if I would have continued playing games all day and not pick up that call. And for this very reason, author questions what holds us back from daring greatly. One thing we all have in common is that we are sick of feeling afraid. We all want to be brave. We all want to dare greatly. We all wish to lift that hammer. But there are 2 main reasons. The first reason is that we compare our lives to media-driven visions of perfection. And second, scarcity, the feeling of never good enough. Before we even sit up in bed, our first thought of the day is I didn't get enough sleep. And the next one, I don't have enough time. And by the time we go to bed at night, we are burdened by thoughts of what we didn't get or didn't get done that day. And we wake up to the condition of scarcity the next day. So how can we start living wholeheartedly? According to the author, for instance, when you applied for that dream job you really want, when you put your art, writing, photography and ideas out in the world by exposing to uncertainty, you accept living wholeheartedly from that very moment. And that takes us to the 3rd chapter, understanding and combating shame. Let's imagine we have created a piece of artwork we want to share with our group of friends. If our friends loves it, we feel worthy. If they don't, we feel worthless. And it tells us that we shouldn't have even tried. Because most of us attach our self-worth to how well the artwork was received. But when we realize we are more than an artwork we have created, and our self-worth is not in the line, then we are more courageous and risk-taker. And we try again and again until we get it right. And that's when you can move on from shame. Now, one of the most important chapters according to the author, where she explains 3 major ways we mask our vulnerability. And the first is forbidding joy. Sometimes in life, when it seems everything is going just right, like suddenly you're getting promoted or the girl you had a crush on approached you asking you to be her date, now you definitely know something is fishy. Like you are on a family vacation and instead of enjoying it unwillingly, you start thinking of the worst case scenario. What if this plane goes down or the ship starts to sink? And we end up ruining our own joyful moments. Solution: practice gratitude in our joyful moments. Next, perfectionism. I know it's addictive, but who doesn't like attention? But we know it's self-destructive as well, and we chase it to avoid the feeling of judgment and shame. Like me trying to edit this video to make it more entertaining and shamelessly editing for straight 2 days. Well, this doesn't mean we can't fight perfectionism. We just have to give ourselves a break and see. So the solution is be kind and gentle to yourself. And the last, feeling numb. We all know 2020 was not the best year for everyone. Many people lost jobs, financial crisis, painful experiences. Somewhere along the line, we became numb. Author says we can dare greatly and fight off being numb. The only solution is we have to be with our friends and family and express ourselves and be there for them as well when they need you. And that takes us to the next chapter, Fight Disengagement. Here author talks about how we need to re-engage and rehumanize our schools and workplaces. For example, teachers shaming students for their inability to learn, and because of that, 85% of the man and woman when they are 35 recollect their school incident and change how they thought of themselves as a learner. As a result, they refuse to show up and to contribute, quit work and school altogether and disengage themselves. According to the author, the solution is if you build up a shame-resilient culture where students and co-workers freely share their experiences and how they dealt with it, and then only we can fight disengagement. And finally, in the last chapter of the book, Dr. Brené Brown explains how every parent wants their child to be happy, make friends, and be successful professionally. But there is no such thing as perfect parenting. But your children are copying and watching you closely. As Joseph Clinton says, what we teach the child more than what we say, so we must be what we want our children to become. In short, practice the value that you want to teach. In conclusion, daring greatly teaches us live wholeheartedly. Be what you want your children to become. Show great leadership. Write down things that keep you from daring greatly and don't chase perfection. Do you agree or disagree with author that being vulnerable is a good thing? Let me know down there in the comment section, and I'll see you next week with a new book.